Jalen, congrats and welcome to Indianapolis. Can you just describe the moment for us and obviously the opportunity you have forward with the Colts?
Super surreal. And the Colts, from the jump have been big believers in me, and that's something that I truly appreciate. Starting with Coach, Tony Sparano on the O line, and someone who I think has a great pedigree in this league, and is someone that I'm eager to get to work with, and someone that I realize that I have a lot of room to grow left in my game, and I'm ready to get to work with him to see what we can accomplish and bring this team back to winning playoffs and Super Bowls at a consistent level.
And then you mentioned that they showed interest from the jump. I guess how much content did you have throughout the pre-draft process with the Colts?
Yeah, I mean, it was here and there, in terms of, interviewing with them and, after the combine and then getting back to work and talking to coach throughout the process, and him bouncing some ideas off of me in terms of what he sees in my game and what areas he can help me with. And that's, what I'm eager to do is continue to get better and continue to prove that I'm one of the best tackles in this class.
Jake.
Hey, Jalen, congratulations. So you've got a basketball background and some super interesting connections here. So Ross Travis was your cousin, is that right?
Yeah, correct.
Former Colt, of course. And then
Yeah.
as far as basketball goes, you played with Chet Holmgren and Jalen Suggs, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay, so obviously that's a very interesting background. How has all of that shaped kind of who you are as a athlete overall today?
Percent. I mean, and obviously having Ross and obviously two brothers who play high major Division 1 in my house. Everything was competitive within our family. I like to say everything was competitive from getting to the kitchen first to being to the car first. It's who we are, and obviously growing up and playing with Chet and Jalen, and them being in my circle, and granted basketball wasn't the path that I chose to take, but still having them in my life, and two people, and especially Chet, guys that I consider to be my close friends. I was at the draft party with Chet when he was drafted in Brooklyn. So it's definitely great to have people like that in my life.
Joel.
Jalen, my understanding is you maybe could have gone to a bigger football school right away. What made you choose Princeton and go that way to start out?
Yeah, academics and athletics have been, my family's and my parents' emphasis from the jump. We come from fairly humble backgrounds, and for us, Princeton represented both a place where I can push myself, obviously off the field, but more importantly on the field, within a program that had a head coach that coached in the league as an assistant O-line coach, had an offensive coordinator that was an O-line coach and offensive line coach. So I knew if I went there and pushed myself, that I'd be able to accomplish my dreams on the field as well. And obviously that ended with, a great year at Iowa State last year.
Kevin.
Hey, Jalen, congrats. When offensive tackle throughout college, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I have a feeling you project as a tackle at the next level, or do you think any guard?
I think right now it's tackle, at least, through my communication, with the coaches, with the Colts. But, I'm eager to get ready, to come in and play, whether they need me at guard or tackle, I'm ready to contribute to the team and, get us on track.
And obviously, you're a super smart dude, and not to try to speed your football career along, but life after football, have you thought about what you want to do?
Yeah. And obviously I want to play football, as long as I can and, pursue this rock until, God tells me I can't anymore. But I think my goal right now is to go back to law school one day, and enter that world.
Go back. Have you already started?
No, sir.
Okay,
No.
got it. Okay,
I'm done. Yeah, finished
okay,
my
got it.
undergrad. Done with school for now. But
Got it.
James.
Dylan, to that point, why is it important to you to be such a well-rounded individual? I mean, most people to get to the NFL, they want to put all their eggs in this one basket, but you have your coalition, you obviously want to go to law school. Why is it all, I guess, important to you?
100%. I think growing up, I saw my parents make 1,000,001 sacrifices to make sure that we had every opportunity that we deserved. And a lot of work went behind that. And I think for me, growing up, and seeing the sacrifices that they make, I realized that I don't necessarily have to make the sacrifice when it comes to choosing between football and life outside of football. That I'm gonna give my best in all of that. And granted, like that makes some very hard decisions growing up that a lot of other kids, weren't involved in. I was pushing myself in the classroom and on the field and making sure that I was doing what I had to do to accomplish my dreams. And for me, that's extremely important. And part of that is making sure that I can give back in the way I want to, especially, through the game of football.
And one quick follow-up, because I want to make it clear, just in case anybody gets any narrative. You do love football, right? Like, and I guess how much do you?
Oh, absolutely. No,
All right.
no. We hear the ball. We hear the ball first and
Okay.
foremost.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Jake?
Yeah, so the Colts over the last couple years have been kind of intentional about preparing for the future on their offensive line. They've gotten kind of young. And I mean, you mentioned you've had this good rapport with Coach Sperano. What's your understanding of the opportunity that lies ahead for you? Like, what are your expectations for, I guess, your role in year one?
Yeah. Right now I don't have any expectations. And I think, someone in my position, I'm ready to come in and work, and whatever that looks like for our team going forward for the coaches to decide. But I'm going to make sure that I'm putting my best foot forward, starting day one, when I get to, rookie minicamp, to make sure that, I'm continuing to perfect my process and approaching the game in the right way, to make sure that, come the fall and come the season, I'm able to contribute to this team, winning a Super Bowl in whatever capacity that looks like.